I remember my daughter is calling me, Mommy, Mom. My daughter is calling Mom. I know I'm going to bounce back in January.
There you go.
In January, I know I'm going to bounce back very soon. January or even sometimes next month.
All right.
I know I'm going to bounce back.
Good evening. Welcome to YNL. It is a pleasure to have you guys over this evening. Kama kawaida, we are doing this live, and the purpose of this show is simply to encourage you. So wherever you are, it's a privilege to have us in your bedroom, in your living room, alone with friends, wherever you are. Sit back, get a hot cup of coffee. We're about to entertain you and inspire you, okay? Now, the interesting thing about YNL is we are not just telling stories about people who have already made it or people who are at the top. We're telling stories about people who are in the fight. So here is where you get to see the heroes before they become heroes. So when they become heroes, you will say that you saw them here first, okay? So, are you ready, guys? Live audience, are you ready? So let us welcome the global audience to YNL today. This is... All right. Stay tuned, you're about to be inspired. Today's guest is James Mwanzia. He is a hotelier, and this gentleman is one of the hoteliers of hoteliers. He's an amazing guy. I have known him almost all my adult life. And we're talking about COVID. I know wherever you are, some of you have been affected by COVID. Some of you something has happened in your life that has just changed because of COVID. Now, today's show is going to give you a feature and a true story of someone who's been affected by COVID and how they are fighting on, okay? So thank you very much for tuning in. James, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victor, for inviting me. Yeah, so as you've heard, my name is James Mwanzia, and today I came with my lovely wife.
Oh, nice. She's here.
Judith Ndenya.
Hey, Judith. All right.
Mama Shai or Mama Tehila.
And maybe before we get into it, tell us about your history, your career, probably from after high school campus. Yeah.
After high school, I joined the Kenya Utalii College in 2002. Victor was my classmate and has been. We were together for 4 years at Kenya Utalii College. Yeah. Then after that, immediately after that, I went for a treatment at Alliance Hotels in Mombasa. So Alliance, they actually employed me 3 months before we graduated. My wife, we were together in high school. So when I was in Sarova, that's now when we started. We started conducting one another after 15 years.
When you were in Shaba now?
When I was in Shaba.
In the lodge?
In the lodge.
Loneliness is a powerful incentive for relationships.
Yeah, so when I was there, we started a relationship with my wife now.
Yes.
So I remember it was on 15th of January 2016. Yeah, 15th of January 2016. So I told her I'll come to Nairobi end of January. So we met. We started strategizing on our relationships. When I was there, I started a conversation with the Tamarind Group, the Carnival.
Yes.
I remember I met Mr. Misumi, who is the current chairman of Tamarind Group. He came to Sarova Shaba. Through my interaction with him and the kind of service that I gave him, he told me that they have a vacancy at Carnival. So I told him, why can't I try that? So he told me when I come to Nairobi, I give him a call. I meet him in the office. So when I came to Nairobi, I met him. I did an interview with him. He was so much impressed. Then he told me that somebody is going to get in touch with me, who was now the former general manager, Fred Muhia. So he told me that Fred will get in touch with you. So after 2 weeks, Fred got in touch with me. I met him again at the Carnival. So after that, I resigned. I resigned. So after resigning, I joined Tamarind Group. We got married in the same year, 2016, in October 15th.
Wow.
We got married. So I stayed there for 2 years. So we kept on encouraging one another with my wife. So
This is now
2018.
2018.
Yeah, we got married in 2016. 2018, Sarova came back again. Intercontinental came. I did both interviews. I did both interviews. So by then we were expecting our firstborn. I remember when I went to pick. When I was taking my wife to the hospital to get the baby, we went for. Sarova had already indicated that I'm lucky. Intercontinental, they also did the same indication.
2 employers and a baby. Same day. This guy is not real, bana. Ni Mungu gani unaomba?
Yeah, so actually I went to pick the Sarova's letter of appointment.
Yeah.
At the same time I got Intercontinental letter of appointment.
And
But we had already decided it is Intercontinental because Intercontinental we are not.
There's no branches. So
No branches.
Yeah.
Also we are not supposed to work over the weekend. So and the offer was also better than Sarova's.
Okay.
So we decided to settle to Intercontinental.
Okay.
So I joined Intercontinental in May 2nd, 2018.
Okay.
Till the time COVID came knocking. So COVID came. We were not prepared for what happened, because I remember my last salary that I got was in March. Yeah, it was in March. So we were all sent on unpaid leave.
So let me paint the picture.
Yes.
Here. So it's 2020.
Yes.
You're working as a senior manager in
The
Intercont.
Continental. Yeah, I actually was the banquets operations manager.
All right.
Yeah.
You are about less than 2 years in.
Yeah, 2 years, 3 months.
2 years, 3 months.
2 years, 3 months. Yeah.
Okay. March 2020.
2020.
And then
COVID came.
COVID happened.
Yes.
Take us slow. Tell us how that happened in the hotel.
Actually,
how was it?
that really hit us a lot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's also good that you also need to be prepared psychologically, because this COVID has really taught me a lot of things. When I was discussing this with my wife, we were asking ourselves if we had no place we can go, like our home.
Yeah.
What could have happened? Because we've seen a lot of people. Who are in the same industry like us, but they don't have anywhere to call home.
Yeah.
And they really suffered a lot during this period. So when I joined Intercontinental, we bought a land in Machakos, and we immediately started developing the land. We built a house there. So we went when COVID came knocking. That is where we went. But I was so confident that Intercontinental it's a company that cannot just quit the industry like that.
Yeah.
So I was at Apkandi, so we got this email from our general manager that all the senior managers, heads of department for that matter, were supposed to meet. And there was a warning that he had sent that whoever will not attend the meeting is going to get a different communication through email.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, what is this now? So I called my friend. He was the assistant front office manager. It's called Simon Mwangi. I called Simon and asked him, Simon, what kind of communication is this that you are getting from the GM? What might be happening? So he went. He went for the meeting. There was a lot of tension. All the HODs, all of us we could see everyone is tensed.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of communication that you are going to give in. So the HR director came with a lot of letters, big files. So that is now when we thought, wow, things are not really very good. So he talked. Then now the news were broken to us by the general manager. Then now Intercontinental, they decided to wind up their operations in Kenya. So all our positions, they were redundant. So we were given 45 days notice. I remember just sending a text to my wife and told her, by the way, things are not very good. All our positions are redundant. My wife just told me, relax and God is in control. What do you tell me? It is well.
When you hear he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah,
that's what we are talking about.
Actually, she told me it is well.
Unajua ungekuwa wasichana wengine ungeambia sasa unani suffocate na hiyo news. Unani affect. You know? She told you it is well.
She told me it is well.
Wow. So what did you do from there?
So now from there, we sat down with her, decided, no, what next now? What would we do? So we decided just to go back home. She's working. So now from there, I've been operating Nairobi upcountry. Now we are still starting our projects there. We can't really complain right now. Though I can tell you for free, things are not really very good because when you are doing some projects, you still also need to be financially stable. And they are not on their full pay. They are on half pay. So, but we thank God so far for what He has done for us. We have not lacked anything. We have not really struggled a lot. So after we were paid our terminal dues and all that, we still continued doing our projects there. So that is where we are.
How is it as a man? Because these are some of the challenges we face in society, where it's difficult as a man to accept that your wife is the one supporting you.
You need to swallow that ego. Swallow that ego that you can't be supported by your wife.
Yes.
And the reason why sometimes you also need to support your wife to have a good job and support her in whatever she's doing is because in life, whatever happened to me can happen.
Yes.
You can imagine if both of us were not earning anything, where could we? And you can even, to make the matter worse, if we had nowhere to call our place. You see, and right now, if you see the industry right now, it has raised a lot of red flags. That even next year or sometimes next month, people might be sent on unpaid leaves because now COVID is really it has spiked a lot.
Yeah.
So what happens from there? So I think every man should support the wife.
Because not many people have that.
Yes.
And it's not easy, and that's why we are applauding.
Yes.
It's not easy to find a woman who will say, I stand with you.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you have that, it's something to be grateful for.
Yes.
You know. And how do you, because many people go through, in this season right now, many people are going through depression.
Yes.
Many people are going through difficult moments. The suicide rates are up. The domestic violence reports are up. How do you maintain your sanity? What do you do to keep yourself calm? Because you are very calm. You know, how do you keep yourself very calm in this situation?
One thing I usually do, one, I don't like staying idle. So for me, most of the time I concentrate in my farm and concentrate in what we are doing there right now. Because when you are idle, that is now when depression and stress comes in.
Okay.
So I usually do that. I like spending a lot of time there at our place.
Yeah.
Just even if I'm not doing a lot of things, but when I'm seeing my friend is doing whatever they are doing, I'm happy. When I'm there feeding my chicken, I'm happy. When I'm there taking my goats to graze, I'm happy. No, you are doing something. Yeah. So and I can see, and I'm very proud to see this is a project that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Rather than staying in Nairobi and I'm there idle and I don't know what to do next.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you're preparing yourself to do differently when you get out there, when things normalize and you get back a formal employment or you get back on your feet financially? Yeah. Are there some decisions that you've made that you're saying now when I get back, this one I want to do differently. I want to do this.
If I bounce back,
When you bounce back.
I know I'm going to bounce back in January.
There you go.
In January, I know I'm going to bounce back very soon. January or
Okay.
even sometimes next month.
All right.
I know I'm going to bounce back. One, I know one thing that I have to do, I have to have a side hustle. Something that is going to give me an income at the end, even if it is how small income that I'm going to get from that side hustle. And I'm going to concentrate in that side hustle to develop it to become something good. See? So if I bounce back, I'm going to build myself. And I don't want to get to depend on employment anymore. Yeah.
So, in speaking of depending, what are you grateful for in this season? What are you thankful for? Can you tell us some of the things that you realize that this I'm actually very grateful for?
Yeah. One thing that I'm very grateful for about is during this period, we were able to do a lot of things in our farm that we were not able to do when we were working.
Okay.
Because we were there all through. And I remember one day, there are some projects that we did, and I told my wife we'll be saying, this happened during the COVID period.
Corona project.
Yeah, Corona projects. Yeah, let's call them Corona projects.
Yes.
And which are really helpful. Even right now, what we are doing there, it could not happen if I was not there or my wife was not there to supervise.
Okay.
There are a lot of we used to spend a lot of money. You send money thinking that when you go there you find things working the way you thought they are working, but it was totally different. But this period that we've been out of work, it has really worked out. In a way, it has really worked out well for us as a family. Yeah.
You see, I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking, even your relationships.
Yes.
I'm sure they're not the same.
They are not the same. Even my kids now, they know me. Sometimes you used to work. You wake up at 5:30. You leave the house by 6. The kids are still sleeping. When you go back to the house, you find them sleeping again. You don't even have time for them. Right now they know you.
I remember.
Actually, I remember my daughter is calling me, Mommy, Mom. My daughter is calling Mom. But because I think she has now been so used to me, like now the way she has been used to the mother. Yeah.
I remember there was a time when I was working in a club, and for a whole month I only saw my wife in a night dress.
Yes.
For a whole month.
Yes.
I never saw her in normal clothes. I find her with a stocking in the head. I leave her with a stocking in the head. So I forgot how she looks during the day.
Yeah, and actually that happens.
Yeah.
Actually, my daughter calls the son, the brother, Daddy. Dad. Her, she calls me Mom.
Wow. So it's gonna take time before she can realize the difference, right?
I usually tell her, me, I'm not Mommy.
Yes.
I'm Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So it must be nice getting to just bond with them afresh.
Yes, it's
getting to know them.
It's very sweet. It's very sweet.
So what you're talking about is knowing your worth.
Yes.
And knowing the career direction that you're taking.
Yes.
That from this position I must see growth. Unless something is wrong,
yes,
it's important to have a plan.
To see that growth. Yeah. Because you see, even a potential employer, you employ people.
Yes.
How will you feel that your employees they're not even helping themselves? If they're not even helping themselves, how sure are you that they are going to help your company grow? You know, those are things, those are perspectives that in life, in career life, you need to establish yourself. Personally, if I have a company, I also want to evaluate what my employees are doing. Apart from what they are doing at my company, what are they doing for themselves? When you are working, start thinking of your retirement. There are people who work till you work for up to maybe 55 years of age and then you retire. And you start coming back to your employer and tell them, Can you give me a contract of 1 year so that I can plan myself? Then you ask yourself, for the last 30 years that you have been working,
What have you been doing?
What difference are you going to make with that 1 year? What difference are you going to make with that 1 year? So when you are, as a young person, start projecting, start setting up short-term goals and long-term goals. Secondly, also they should also invest themselves in education. Education doesn't end.
Yeah.
You see, even if it doesn't mean that you need to go to a university and join something. No, you can even go to somewhere that there are people doing some casual or a project that you can go there and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see what you can borrow from there and invest in your own life. That would be very important. That would be very important.
You've got great advice. I'm going to borrow some of that advice again for another question. I want to ask you this. What would you tell somebody right now who is depressed? Because there are people right now out there that are really depressed. They are suicidal right now. They are struggling in their homes, in their families because of COVID.
I would really advise them that they should say that all is not lost. And there is always a starting point in this life. And they should just rethink or restructure their lives again and think of what they can do. And actually they also need to look for people like you, who is a motivational speaker, and come to you and for some advice. And they should not lose hope. Yeah, you know, there is something that there is a saying that saying, you see, when you are just about to give up in life, now that is now when your breakthrough is about to come. You see, they should not think of that. Yeah, let them just sit down and think of what to do in their lives again. Yeah, all is not lost. Yeah, you see, even that small hope that they have, that now it can turn around their life to better.
True. Amazing. Isn't that amazing? Come on, let's do it in my hand. Now, I want you to say one more thing to that girl. Her name is Judith. That girl that is standing by you right now. I want you to tell her something that you'll want her to remember 3 years from now. Yes.
So, thank you, love, for standing with me. I know it has not been a very easy time right now, but you have really, really stood with me. You have given me hope in life when sometimes I never thought I was just about to give up. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for standing with me. And I love you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James.
Yeah.
Thank you for making time to do this. Here's the thing. So many people love to tell their story when they're at the mountaintop. All right? After you've gone through the challenges, you've gone through those issues, and then now you have won, you are standing on the top of the mountain. It's very easy and very romantic to tell the story, you know? And they lived happily ever after. People love that story. So it's very nice, very romantic to stand on top of the hill and talk about how you got there. But not many people have the guts to tell you about the top of the hill when they are in the valley. To me, true greatness is if you can talk to me about the mountaintop while you're still in the valley. Everybody has got a song when they are standing on the hill. Everybody has got their way of talking about how they started with nothing and then they finally got to something. Everybody can come up with a story. That's easy. But it's very difficult to find somebody talking about the mountaintop when they're in the valley, talking about the light when they are seated in the dark. Now that is greatness for me. Because if we are seated together in the valley and you're still talking about the mountain, when you finally get to the mountain, you leave me with faith. Because when I'm down there, I'll say, jamaa tulikuwa tu na yeye. Tulikuwa tu tunaongea hapa. Na alikuwa anaongea juu hizi mastori na tulikuwa tunacheka. Now look where he is. You get what I'm saying? So anybody can come after COVID and tell us how they made it through COVID. Anybody with a job can come and tell us how they struggled when they didn't have a job. But I am inspired by the guy who will talk about bouncing back before they bounce back. Because then I can believe that I can also bounce back. So in the society today, we talk about all the people standing on top of the mountain and we make them out to be heroes. But to me, the true heroes are the people who are in the valley and they are still talking about that mountaintop. The person who is still in alcohol and is talking about coming out. The person who is broke and is talking about becoming a millionaire. The person who has nothing and is talking about owning the whole world. That guy is the true hero, because it is not your success that inspires me. It is the fight. I don't know if you guys are getting me. I am not inspired by your success. You could have fluked. You could have won it in a bet. You could have been left something with an inheritance. That doesn't inspire me. I am inspired by your fight, because success is not my business. None of us can create success, but we can fight. So if you show me your fight, I am inspired, because when you fight, I can also fight. If you are struggling with an addiction, I can also struggle with the addiction. If you are fighting looking for a job, I can also fight and look for a job. So if you can show me how you fight and how you believe in the middle of the fight, when you succeed, I believe your success more. So why am I saying this? Because there are so many heroes among us who are yet to reach the mountaintop, but they are quiet just because they have not reached the top. I don't know if you get me. There are many people here, even in the room or watching right now. There are guys who are fighting. They are fighting very well, but simply because they have not reached the top, they don't want to share their story. And all I'm saying is this: share your story wherever you are. Whether it is a story of how you're struggling, whether it's a story of how you've lost your job, whether it's a story of how your business has failed, whether it's a story of how you've never won and you're waiting to win, that struggle is the one that inspires the people around you. So wherever you are, share your story. We want to hear about your fight. That is why people are struggling and people are killing themselves, they're hanging themselves, guys are killing each other, guys are losing hope when all they need is somebody to tell them, keep fighting. The guy that makes me keep fighting is the guy that is fighting alongside me. When I look to my left and I look to my right and I see somebody fighting, then even me, I'll keep fighting, because he's saying, boss, we are fighting. But some of you, the problem is you are quiet in the fight. It's time to talk to somebody. The neighbor right next to you doesn't know what you're struggling with. Tell them what you're struggling with. Tell them the fight that you're having. Who knows, maybe their fight is smaller and they're about to kill themselves over something so small, and yet you're carrying such a big mountain on your back and you're carrying it with a smile. Talk about it. Tell someone next to you, by the way, did you know that I've got 3 kids and I don't have a job, but I'm still smiling? That's the fight we want to hear. Tell somebody, do you know I've got a kid that is in college and they have to continue in college? I have a kid who is a candidate and they have to remain in school, and I'm here and I don't have a job. That's the fight we want to hear. That is what's going to inspire me. Tell somebody how you're supporting a mother who is sick and she needs drugs, and you're still finding a way to get those drugs and you don't have any form of income. That's the fight we want to hear. When you stand on the mountain, we'll believe it more. You get what I mean, guys? So let us stop making people heroes who are not heroes. Let us stop looking at people and we say, because you're successful, you must give me a story. We put pressure on people who have no story to give us a story. They must give us a story. Oh, just because now you're a millionaire, you must give us a story because you are at the top of the mountain. Some of them fell on top of the mountain. They just happened on top of the mountain. They have no story to give. So let's not force them to give us an inspiring story. They have nothing to give. Look around you. There are heroes among us. Not all of them are wearing capes and crowns. There are heroes right next to you. All you need to do is sit close and listen closer. You understand what I'm saying, guys? I hope you've been inspired, and I hope we'll start talking to everybody. Talk to people around you. You never know, you could be saving a life. All right? Thank you so much, guys. This is your next level. What is this? This is your next level.